let's move on to the next question. Is independent versus corporates versus online versus anyone?
Can I answer that one?
Go on then.
Who gives a crap?
Go on.
We were chatting about this with me outside a minute ago. Like,
Is that in the green room?
Yeah. The titles. I was chatting about that.
You'll see the view out there. We'll put a bit of B-roll in now. You'll see it now. It's gorgeous. Make sure we put the B-roll in.
And I just think it's completely irrelevant about whether you're online, hybrid, traditional, hub, on the moon, whatever. It's the thing you're doing for the person.
Yes.
So I can negotiate a property sale from the moon because there's things called telephones and you can negotiate. That's what I do. I negotiate. And we happen to only want to do it in a localised area because we know we're not a national online agency. But we haven't got a high street shop, we haven't got a window display, we're based on a farm and we do it in a wider area. So...
Okay, well that's the high street versus the hybrid model, because you would classify yourself more as a hybrid then, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you high street?
We're high street, yeah.
How many offices you got?
3.
Okay. Have you considered going hub or? We're going to go on to talk about hubs later.
Probably not in our location because I think the market we're in, it's an older market. Okay. They're more traditional. We still have a local newspaper. People advertise properties in it.
Local newspapers.
I know it's a stunning thing. Crazy. And I think for us, the cost of actually having an office that's outside of the town centre and the cost of having one inside the town centre with a window, there's not a massive difference. We've got to work from somewhere. We might as well have something where people can come in and see us. But I think in some places it's logical not to have one. Okay.
Chaps, what's your thoughts on online versus hybrid versus high street?
I do have to be quite careful what I say here because obviously we're. But
go on.
Quite
be
frankly,
a bit controversial, not too controversial.
An opinion, just because
Chris is between you and us. Don't worry.
Yeah, and
he'll fight us off.
There's no cameras on anything.
No, there's a few thousand people watching. Come on.
It's all about agents putting the customer first.
Yes,
in my view.
That's your.
It's not, and they need to rethink. It's not about them. It's about putting their customer at the heart of absolutely everything they do and delivering absolutely unstoppable, fantastic service.
And that's the only problem with corporate, in my view. In the
Hold on a second. So we've got independent versus corporate, and we've got high street versus online. Which I mean, we're all mixing it all up. We're all friends. Do you think corporate? Well, let's move on to corporate versus independent.
So I think that is like corporate. They have to put their shareholders first. Am I right in saying that, or am I just being a bit stupid?
Hold on a second. But surely, if you're running your own business, you can put your own first. That's just like saying the business owner comes first, doesn't it?
Well, there's more flexibility. The difference is in our town, we can do what we want to do for the customer.
Well, it's your business. You've got skin in the game, haven't you?
The agent over the road, they might try as hard as they can to be as good as they can as a corporate agent. However, they will have things they cannot do because the corporate structure says you cannot do this, you must do it this way. And I think that's where sometimes they can't react as well as we can.
I mean, do you think there's a value in having a big head office with area managers going around the country in BMWs and big pensions? Eric?
Well, I'm not quite answering that question, but I think one of the things that the corporates do well is, or have done in the past, correct me if I'm wrong if it's current, but is training of their staff.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And part of the area managers' jobs, etc., is to ensure that the training they've had is obviously filtered through right from the top down to the grassroots.
I would agree with you. I think the corporates are exceptional at training. Why do you think independents are very rubbish at training?
They get busy.
Okay.
Simple as that. If you're a corporate, there's a time booked out of the diary, and one of your staff members is going to go off to this training centre, be trained for the day, and it doesn't matter what happens. And they kind of walk away and go, oh, that's what's happening. In independent, someone goes ill, something happens, and things fall by the wayside. Yeah, we try to get our staff trained, and we give them a training budget each year. We tell them what's a good idea to be trained on. And very few of them, we ask them, we give them suggestions and a budget to do it. And we said, if you come up with any training you want to go on, let us know. If we think it's going to be good for us, we'll do it. Hardly anybody ever comes to us and asks for it. And even when we give them suggestions, they don't then pursue it because they're too busy.
That leads on to a whole other
that's their-
discussion as well,
yeah.
from the employee mentality versus the self-employed mentality, which I'm quite vocal on. But I was going to say something and I've totally forgotten it.
I mean, I see and hear quite a lot of independents giving corporates a bit of a kicking, you know, in terms of, oh, it's a nightmare when I'm in a chain with a corporate because they're absolutely hopeless at sales progression and so forth. But, you know, if you actually look back at the CV of an awful lot of indies, they've had a period of time where they've learnt their craft through the corporates who invest heavily in their training, you know. So I'm always a bit cautious about, you know, giving the corporates too much of a hard deal, because actually that they account for a large proportion of properties that are sold in this country, and they can have very positive influence on the direction of travel. And we're starting to see it now in terms of some of the technology that even the big corporates are now starting to roll out across their branches. You know, they're sort of leading the way with a bit of a charge, some of them.
Yeah, and I think the problem you've got with corporates, or the good thing with corporates, is the impressions we have of corporates are generally based on a particular office, which is the one closest to us, that at some points might not be as good as it could be, and other times it'd be really good. So if you've got a good corporate in your town, and they're good and they work well, and we hear good positive things about them, you have a positive impression of
the same about
generally
businesses as well, is that one person now business might at times let the whole down. I think the future, it's just come to me,
Go on then.
is owned by the Hovis of estate agency.
The Hovis of Estate Agency.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Okay.
The best of both.
Oh,
See what I've done there?
I'm fired today.
Now, what I mean by that is,
Yeah, go on then.
I think there can be lessons learned from the nimbleness of small businesses.
Back in the bread reference.
This is it.
It is, yeah.
This is,
You're talking
Well,
dough.
is that a
dough
dough
for
reference?
it, yeah.
Nimble.
Nimble.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so the nimbleness, but the structure
Yeah.
of the corporate, which keeps it less nimble. Does that make sense? Like sometimes the
Yeah.
hierarchical structure of politics means you can't implement
Yeah.
anything.